127 Chinese warships encircle Taiwan. America's carrier strike group enters the kill zone. At 4:47 a.m., the first shot is fired. The unthinkable becomes reality. March 15, 2025. The South China Sea transforms into a powder keg. For months, tensions escalated. Chinese military exercises around Taiwan, American freedom of navigation operations, diplomatic warnings ignored on both sides. But this morning, everything changes. The line gets crossed, and the world's two superpowers collide in open water. The Chinese flotilla represents the largest naval deployment since World War II. 127 vessels forming a steel noose around Taiwan. Type 05V5 destroyers. Type 052D guided missile destroyers. Aircraft carriers Shandong and Fujian. Submarines lurking beneath the surface. Over 250 aircraft providing air coverage. Beijing calls it a routine exercise. Washington knows better. This is invasion preparation disguised as training. The USS Ronald Reagan Carrier Strike Group receives orders at 2:13 a.m. local time. Transit through the Taiwan Strait. Assert freedom of navigation, show American resolve. The strike group consists of 11 ships, 1 Nimitz-class carrier, 2 Ticonderoga-class cruisers, 7 Arleigh Burke destroyers, 1 Virginia-class submarine, 68 aircraft aboard the Reagan, FA-18 Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers, E-2D Hawkeyes, 5,000 sailors ready for action. What's your weapon of choice in this scenario? Type A for carrier-based fighters. Type B for submarine warfare. Admiral Chen Wei commands the Chinese Eastern Theater from the destroyer Nanchang. His orders are clear. Prevent American interference. Use all necessary force. Establish facts on the water. The Nanchang carries 112 vertical launch cells, YJ-18 anti-ship missiles with 2 90-mile range, HQ-9 air defense missiles, Type 1130 close-in weapon systems, spitting 11,000 rounds per minute. This floating fortress cost $920 million. It's designed to kill carriers. At 3:55 a.m., Chinese radar operators detect the American formation, 47 miles east of Taiwan. Course 270 degrees, speed 18 knots. The Reagan's air wing launches routine patrols. 4 Super Hornets climb to 25,000 feet. Their APG-79 radars paint the entire Chinese fleet, every ship, every aircraft. The data streams back to the carrier in real time. American commanders see the complete picture. 127 contacts, some closing fast. Chinese J-15 fighters scramble from the Shandong. 24 aircraft airborne in 8 minutes. They form a wall between Taiwan and the American strike group. Flying patterns designed to intimidate. Aggressive maneuvers, close passes, radio silence. The message needs no words. Turn back or face consequences. But the Reagan doesn't turn back. At 4:23 a.m., the strike group enters the Taiwan Strait. International waters, legal transit. American captains know maritime law. They maintain course and speed. No deviation, no hesitation. Freedom of navigation isn't negotiable. It's demonstrated. Chinese commanders face a decision point: allow the Americans through and lose face, or enforce the exclusion zone with force. Beijing spent decades building this fleet. $42 billion invested in the Eastern Theater alone. Ships designed specifically to counter American carriers. Anti-access area denial strategy. Keep the U.S. Navy at arm's length. This is the moment of truth. Theory meets reality. At 4:47 a.m., a Chinese Type 054A frigate locks fire control radar on the USS Wayne E. Meyer. The Arleigh Burke destroyer sailing point position for the strike group. The radar lock lasts 7 seconds. Every sensor on every American ship registers the hostile act. This crosses a threshold. Fire control radar means weapons ready, target acquired, finger on the trigger. The Meyer's captain, following rules of engagement, illuminates the Chinese frigate with his own fire control system, SPY-1D radar at full power, powerful enough to cook a bird in flight. The message is clear. You light us up, we light you up. But unlike the Chinese, American missiles are faster, more accurate, and backed by the full weight of a carrier strike group. For 38 seconds, nobody breathes. 2 warships pointing weapons at each other. Missiles ready in vertical launch cells. Sailors at battle stations. 1 error, 1 miscalculation, 1 nervous officer. That's all it takes to start a war. Chinese command blinks first. The fire control radar goes dark. The frigate turns away. But the damage is done. American rules of engagement just changed. Any Chinese vessel showing hostile intent now becomes a legitimate target. The Reagan battle group shifts to weapons-tight posture, ready to fire on threat indication. If you're enjoying this deep dive into modern warfare, take a moment to hit that subscribe button. At 5:12 a.m., Chinese patrol boats swarm the American formation. 23 small craft, fast attack boats with anti-ship missiles. They zip between American destroyers at 45 knots. Dangerous seamanship, provocative maneuvers. 1 collision could spark combat. American captains maintain course. Their phalanx systems track every boat. 20mm cannons capable of shredding fiberglass hulls in seconds. But orders are clear: do not fire unless fired upon. The Chinese submarine threat escalates simultaneously. American P-8 Poseidon aircraft detect 3 Type 093 attack submarines converging on the strike group. Sonobuoys paint their positions. 12 miles out, 8 miles, 5 miles. These submarines carry Yu-6 torpedoes, wake-homing, designed to track carrier propeller wash. Each sub carries 18 weapons, enough firepower to cripple the entire American formation. The USS Mississippi, a Virginia-class submarine shadowing the Chinese fleet, receives permission to trail the enemy subs. Silent running at 400 feet. The Mississippi's sonar operators listen to every propeller turn, every depth change, every course correction. American submarines remain the quietest in the world. Chinese sonar can't hear them until it's too late. This underwater chess match decides everything. At 6:34 a.m., the situation explodes. A Chinese J-15 fighter buzzes the Reagan at 200 feet altitude, supersonic pass over the flight deck. The jet wash rocks aircraft parked on deck. Sailors dive for cover. This isn't just dangerous, it's an act of aggression. American FA-18s launch in response. 12 aircraft airborne in 4 minutes. They form a defensive screen around the carrier, air-to-air missiles armed, radars active. The sky becomes a cage of electronic beams. Chinese air defense ships light up their fire control systems. 18 vessels now tracking American aircraft. SA-N-20 missiles ready to launch. Each missile travels Mach 6. Each carries a 180-pound warhead. The Chinese have 400 missiles ready to fire. American pilots know the math. They're outnumbered, but not outmatched. Their electronic warfare systems can blind Chinese radars. Their missiles can engage from beyond visual range. But quantity has a quality all its own. What would you have done when Chinese fighters buzzed the carrier? Comment your answer below. At 7:08 a.m., the first shot is fired. Not by ships, not by aircraft, by electromagnetic warfare. Chinese vessels unleash a coordinated electronic attack, jamming American communications, spoofing GPS signals, attempting to blind the Aegis combat systems. This is warfare without explosions, without casualties, but warfare nonetheless. Disabling an enemy's ability to fight is victory without firing a shot. American electronic warfare officers counter immediately. EA-18G Growlers light up their jamming pods. 10,000 watts of focused electromagnetic energy. Chinese radars go fuzzy. Their data links fail. Their missiles lose guidance. The electromagnetic spectrum becomes a battlefield as real as any ocean, invisible to the naked eye, decisive to the outcome. The Reagan's Air Wing commander makes a critical decision: launch a show of force. 24 FA-18s take off in rapid succession, combat-loaded, AIM-120 missiles, AIM-9X Sidewinders. External fuel tanks for extended range. They form up in 4 divisions. Each division assigned a sector. The Chinese fleet now faces 24 American fighters armed with 96 advanced air-to-air missiles. The balance shifts. Chinese commanders recognize the escalation. Their fighters are outmatched. J-15s lack the radar range of American Super Hornets. Their missiles are shorter range. Their pilots less experienced in carrier operations. The Shandong's air wing has 400 hours average flight time. American carrier pilots average 1,200 hours. Experience matters when milliseconds count. At 8:45 a.m., both sides pull back from the brink. Chinese patrol boats withdraw. American fighters return to high-altitude patrol. The electromagnetic warfare stops. Radars go passive. But nobody relaxes. This is a pause, not a resolution. Both fleets remain at battle stations. Missiles stay armed. Submarines stay silent and deadly. Don't miss what comes next. Make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an analysis like this. The Reagan continues transit through the Taiwan Strait. Slower now, more cautious. Every sensor active, every weapon ready. The passage takes 4 hours, 47 nautical miles of maximum tension. Chinese destroyers shadow the Americans on both sides, just outside weapons range, watching, waiting, testing. American intelligence works overtime. Satellite imagery analyzes Chinese fleet disposition. Signal intelligence monitors their communications. Every ship identified. Every weapon system cataloged. This data feeds into targeting computers. If shooting starts, American missiles know exactly where to go. First strike advantage could decide everything. At 11:30 a.m., the Reagan clears the northern end of the Taiwan Strait. International waters again. The immediate crisis passes, but the precedent is set. American warships transited despite Chinese opposition. Freedom of navigation maintained through presence and power. Beijing's exclusion zone challenged and defeated. The message resonates globally. American commitment to allies remains ironclad. Chinese media spins the confrontation differently. They claim victory, American aggression repelled, Taiwan protected, national sovereignty defended. Domestic propaganda requires success stories. The reality matters less than the narrative. Both sides claim to have won. Both sides prepare for next time. The cost of this 4-hour confrontation staggers comprehension. Fuel burned by 127 Chinese ships and 250 aircraft runs to $14 million. American carrier operations cost $7 million per day. Add aircraft fuel, missile readiness, personnel costs. This single incident costs both nations over $25 million. And nothing actually happened. No shots fired in anger, no ships sunk, no aircraft downed. Just posturing with trillion-dollar militaries. But something did change. Red lines got tested. Rules of engagement got updated. Both militaries learned lessons. Chinese anti-access strategy works until challenged. American freedom of navigation requires willingness to risk combat. The next confrontation will escalate faster. Both sides now know the other's responses. Predictability breeds confidence. Confidence breeds aggression. This kind of detailed tactical breakdown takes hours to research. Subscribe to help us keep making them. American strategists identify critical vulnerabilities in Chinese operations. Their air defense ships operate in predictable patterns. Their submarines are too noisy. Their command and control relies heavily on vulnerable data links. These weaknesses get documented, analyzed, turned into attack plans. The next encounter will exploit these gaps. Chinese planners draw their own conclusions. American carrier groups are vulnerable to swarm attacks. Multiple submarines and missile boats overwhelm defense systems. Electronic warfare disrupts their technological advantage. Sustained operations far from home bases strain logistics. Quantity can defeat quality if properly coordinated. The Taiwan government watches nervously. This confrontation happened in their waters, over their future. without their input. Great power politics reduces small nations to spectators. Taiwan invests $19 billion annually in defense. But when the US and China face off, Taiwan's military becomes irrelevant. The island's fate gets decided by others. Was this confrontation a tactical victory for America or a strategic win for China? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Regional allies take note. Japan increases naval patrols. South Korea puts air bases on alert. Australia moves submarines toward the South China Sea. American commitment to the Indo-Pacific gets tested daily. This single incident triggers alliance-wide responses. Collective security means collective preparation. Global shipping holds its breath. The Taiwan Strait carries 40% of world container traffic, $5.3 trillion in goods annually. Insurance rates spike immediately. Container ships reroute to avoid the confrontation zone. Supply chains adjust. Every iPhone, every laptop, every electronic device depends on this passage remaining open. War here means economic collapse everywhere. Military analysts debate the implications for months. Was this the new normal? Will every transit become a crisis? Can both superpowers share the same ocean? The answers shape defense budgets, force structures, war plans. This 4-hour confrontation influences military thinking for years. Pentagon planners update their Taiwan contingency operations. More submarines assigned to the region. Additional fighter squadrons rotating through Guam and Okinawa. Missile stockpiles increased. If deterrence fails, America must be ready for sustained high-intensity combat. The Reagan incident proves Chinese willingness to challenge American power directly. Chinese military spending increases 12% the following year. More destroyers commissioned, more submarines launched, more fighters produced. The goal remains clear. Build a fleet capable of defeating American carrier strike groups in Asian waters. Quantity matters. Persistence matters. Time favors the side willing to outspend and outlast. The underwater dimension becomes critical. Both nations invest billions in submarine technology. Quieter boats, better sensors, longer-range torpedoes. Submarines are the ultimate ambush predators. One boat in the right place at the right time can sink a carrier worth $13 billion. This makes submarine warfare the highest stakes game in modern naval combat. If you made it this far, you're the core of our community. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell. The lessons from this confrontation spread through military academies worldwide. How to maintain composure under pressure. How to escalate without triggering combat. How to back down without losing face. Naval officers study every decision, every maneuver, every communication. Future leaders learn from these tense hours. Technology proves decisive, but not deterministic. American systems outmatch Chinese equivalents. But Chinese numbers create their own advantage. 10 inferior missiles might overwhelm defenses that stop 3 superior ones. This equation drives procurement decisions for both militaries. The human factor matters most. Captains who keep calm, pilots who follow orders, commanders who know when to push and when to pause. Wars are fought by machines, but decisions are made by people. Training, experience, judgment, these intangibles separate victory from disaster. Looking forward, this incident seems inevitable in hindsight. 2 rising powers, competing interests, shrinking buffer zones. Something had to give. The Taiwan Strait became the pressure point. Geography made it unavoidable. Politics made it dangerous. Military readiness made it survivable. The world watches and worries. If these 2 nations fought a real war, consequences spread globally. Supply chains shatter. Economies collapse. Millions die. Nobody wins. But somebody might think they can win. That's the real danger. Miscalculation born from overconfidence. Crisis escalation beyond control. War nobody wants but everybody gets. Freedom depends on strength. Peace requires readiness. The Reagan's transit through the Taiwan Strait proved both principles. American sailors faced down a numerically superior force. They maintained course through intimidation. They defended international law with presence and power. This is deterrence in action. This is why carriers matter. To adversaries watching, understand this message clearly. American resolve isn't bluster. It's backed by the finest military ever assembled. Every sailor trained to perfection. Every weapon tested and ready. Every captain willing to defend American interests. Challenge that at your own peril. 3 questions for you. First, could China actually sink an American carrier in combat? Second, would the US really risk war over Taiwan? Third, who has the advantage in the next confrontation? Your engagement directly shapes what we cover next. Drop a comment and subscribe. This story isn't over. It's just beginning. The first direct clash between American and Chinese forces sets the stage for everything that follows. Will diplomacy prevail? Will deterrence hold? Or will the next incident spiral into open combat? The answers unfold in real time. Stay informed, stay engaged, stay subscribed, because when superpowers collide, everybody feels the impact.